This is a World Naked Bike Ride Portland ride. It's an emergency ride.
We don't need ice in Portland. We don't need ice in Chicago. We don't need ice in LA. We don't need ice anywhere.
The train lines are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
We're gonna go have a great time together. And always remember, don't let the government vilify you. We know that we're not the violent ones.
United will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Alright, Shalom, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever you may be, and wherever you may be, to you I say, Shalom, Yahshua, Shalom. Alright, this is going to be brief here, just a small segment, little, the current state, centered around ICE. And obviously we've all known about ICE, what's been going on. You got different protests. I guess you could even say riots. I mean, people are fighting back, and things of that nature. And I wanted to get into and there's a couple of things going on. I think most of what clips we have were, based on what's going on in Chicago. I think there was one other place, and then what we have here, which is what I'm going to talk about. Some mess that was going on in Oregon. Okay, and I want to talk about this. So it says Daily Show star spotted at Portland emergency naked bike ride Sunday. All right, this is published October 13, 2025. So Daily Show star spotted at Portland's emergency naked bike ride Sunday. So check this out here. It says sometime Daily Show host and correspondent Jordan Klepper appears to have been in Portland on Sunday to experience an emergency world naked bike ride in the pouring rain. Portland's ongoing protest of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, aka ICE, facility has become a national story. That's the same thing I just mentioned, okay? And I didn't exactly say national story, but I mean, it's pretty clear to the average person, what's going on. I mean, it's constant everyday news. Both because President DJ Nero has threatened to send federal troops to stop it. All right, and this is in particular talking about Portland, Oregon. There are several places that you can look up and research, ICE operations. But this particular thing is in Portland, Oregon, which is why I have this article pulled up here. It says, and because the protest has been notably whimsical, featuring inflatable animals, dance parties, bubbles, and now nudity on two wheels. Okay, I'm gonna read some more of this article, but I want to first go in and because of this portion that we read here, I want to jump into a couple of scriptures I want to grab. But it says been notably whimsical, featuring inflatable animals, dance parties, bubbles, and now nudity on wheels. And this is no different from some, I don't know what you call them things. Is the GIMP people. But also what it made me think about, this is no different from the LBG, plus TQ, community with their marchings and stuff that they used to do, probably still do. But and then they talk about we're going after your kids, and so all this marching, because, and I'm saying that because what we're reading here, the protest has been notably whimsical, featuring inflatable animals, dance parties, bubbles, and now nudity on two wheels. Okay, so it's almost like a sex party in open. I'm not saying they're actually having sex, but I think you kind of get what I'm trying to say here. So let me grab my scriptures so I can back myself up on the point I'm trying to make here. So I want to get this real quick. So let's start at 5. It says, "Behold, said the Lord," 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 5. "I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." And there's wickedness on both sides, all right? Which, of course, is judgment on the end of ICE, who's, coming after the Israelites. They're still wicked, but it is judgment. And then you have the other side, the protesters. And these particular protesters are just some fucking weirdos, okay? Riding around nude. And the reason why I just compared it to the LTGBQ plus people is because they did the same thing, right? Because they don't regard the children, especially that community. They want the children to be a part of it, and these people are no different. Because they can, if they wanted to riot, and go riot. If you wanted to protest, then go protest. But to take it this far is just madness, okay? With no regards to the children. So it says, "For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness," because in their mind, they think that they're doing some righteous protesting act against ICE in Oregon. Okay, but you're wicked as hell, all right, because of the way that you're going about it, which they and which well, and even if you weren't, all right, the scriptures tell us to wait ye upon me to the day that I rise up to the pray. And that's really a message to the Israelites, but I'm just making a point. Okay, you shouldn't be out there protesting, whether you're an Israelite or non. Well, actually, I really don't care what the non-Israelites do, but the Israelites should not be out there protesting. But there has to be Israelites out there protesting, because those are obviously people who are part of the 2/3, man. Because otherwise, because if you were if you were a part of the ministry, you know better than that. So it says, "I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness." But actually, you had I can't remember who it was. One of those camps, they went out there. Was he doing the Mexican thing early on? Okay. And dude got spotted with a gun on his hip and all that kind of madness. All right. So, I mean, but hey, these other camps do what they want to do. For us, it's the Wadi Abashon shot that we have the apostles show us the right way. Okay. Because everything else is just, it's just not according to the scriptures. It says, "I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves." Okay. And you're going to have a lot of, well, this is one event anyways, but there's going to be a whole lot of other crazy madness, wicked, lewd things that are going to be taking place as time progresses and Jacob's trouble, starts to manifest itself more and more, which what leads me over here to Luke 17 and 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, which is talking about Noah, right? Noah from Noah's Ark, in case someone doesn't know who Noah or Noah is. All right, Noah from the Noah's Ark in Genesis, the Old Testament. "And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man." Okay, now, like I said, they may be thinking that they're doing some righteous act. Oh, no ICE protesting, whatever the case may be. But they're still wicked, as in, because, some of those are heathens, and you probably have Israelites amongst them. All right, but if it's one of the heathen nations, then by default, they're not going to be seen as righteous anyways. But then on top of it, you're doing this nudity thing. Now, I'm not sure if people were actually butt naked, but I've seen, men in drawers, women in panties and bra and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if anybody was completely naked, but still, it's still a form of nudity, because I mean, you're out there in your underwear, okay, and there's no regard for children, which I'm not sure if children went out there, but since children seem to pop up in all different locations, so it says, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drink, They married wives. They were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. Now, they're not exactly engaging in these particular, well, maybe in their personal lives they are. I'm speaking in the angle of this protest here. All right. But this is still wicked and lewd. Okay. To be out there in the streets, like that protesting. You could have found any other kind of way to protest besides riding, bikes or whatever you were riding, motor scooters or motorcycles or whatever, vehicles. You were doing it in your underwear, or possibly some people being naked. Okay. So it's still wicked and lewd. Says they did eat, they drank, they married wives, and now once again you see why I compared it to the LGQT, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, the plus. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. And this time, what's going to come? Fire. All right, that's what's going to come this time. Fire. Okay. Likewise, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. And that's what the Lord says. What's that? 2 Peter 3? Yeah, I believe it's the top of that chapter, 2 Peter 3. Okay, where it talks about the world then overcome by the flood, and this time reserved unto fire. Okay. And all these people are going to be eaten up by the fire that the Lord is going to bring upon Babylon the Great. Because it's going to be just, because everybody knows America is the most wicked place on the planet. Okay. And as the time comes closer and closer to the very end, you're going to see wickedness, which wickedness is already at an all-time high. But what I'm saying is going to amplify. Okay. And this is just an isolated event. But I mean, if people go this far, it goes to show you that they're losing it. Okay. And that's crazy, because the Most High the Heavenly Father Yahweh has people doing things like this, losing their minds, and Jacob's trouble has not even fully unraveled itself yet. Okay. People are already losing their minds and going crazy, doing crazy mess like this, just to protest ICE. Okay. In which there's all kinds of divisions everywhere. Okay. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. Yep. Everybody's going to be doing what they do. And when Yahushua comes, the fire is going to drop. So I want to go back to here real quick and read some more of this. Whimsical featuring inflatable animals, dance parties, bubbles, and now nudity on two wheels. All right. It says, what was Klepper doing in Portland? And I don't know who Klepper is. I didn't actually expect it to have this person in here. Who they said it was? Oh, a Daily Show star. Yeah, so I don't know anything about that. I didn't expect that to be in here. I was just grabbing this article because it was the shortest. But 2 for 1, I guess. In one TikTok video, he can be seen interviewing a person in an inflatable frog costume. And a Blue Sky user said they saw him and a crew from the Daily Show at the bike ride portion of the event. Apparently, they may have seen a lot of him. According to the user, he was riding shirtless, wearing a bulletproof vest with a press sign on the front. See? He was bugged out, man. Viewers may need, and I'm pretty sure nobody was like butt naked, because they probably would have got arrested. Okay. Then again, you never know. I don't know. Viewers may need to wait over a week to see whatever segment the Daily Show is cooking up. However, the Daily Show is not scheduled to air tonight and may not be back until Thursday, October 23rd. In the meantime, here is a Daily Show post about Portland from last week. The following is real footage from Portland 2025. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm not sure. Damn it. What the hell is going to be? Oh, wait. Give me a second here. I'll turn off my Bluetooth, so you can at least hear it. Hey, you just see a bunch of talking heads. Let me check my ticker. Okay. All right, so
President Trump will end the radical left's reign of terror in Portland once and for all.
You look at Portland, and you see fires all over the place. You see fights and, just violence.
This network of Antifa is just as sophisticated as MS-13, as TDA, as ISIS, as Hezbollah, as Hamas, as all of them. They are just as dangerous. They have an agenda to destroy us, just like the other terrorists we've dealt with for many, many years.
When ICE officers have to street battle against Antifa, hand-to-hand combat every night to come and go from their building.
Slide to the left.
And notice that keeps bringing up this Antifa thing. Brothers, let me go into that. Because that's it's more like a strike point for them, to keep screaming out Antifa. Okay.
Slide to the right. Crisscross. You look at what's happened with Portland over the years. It's a burning hellhole.
Oh, they didn't sing that song. So lucky, man. Come on. This is Portland. This is yours, Lord land. And then now you got Thanksgiving. Fuck out of here. So lucky for my French. Oh man, these people. Let's see what this guy here. It says, if you purchase a product or register for an account, I don't care about that. So they might have been the end of the article right there with the video. Yeah, because we got all this other junk down here. So, oh wait, I was going to say what the heck is happening. Yeah, so that was the end of that at that video, because that's nothing that we need right there. But yeah, so this is the madness, the craziness, the lewdness going on. And it's all centered around what? Ice. Okay, Vanilla Ice. Ice Baby, okay? Which the persecution is, as of now, amongst the Israelites, but as we've been saying, it's going to spread to the other heathens, or not other heathens, because we're not heathens, but it's going to spread to the heathens. And on top of that, you already see that the heathens are partaking in these protests, even though ICE is directing their attention towards the Israelites, both northern and southern kingdom. You have mainly you see the Edomites, all right? They're involved in it. Sometimes you might see Asian, because them Asians be blending right in with the Edomites. Excuse me, because they think they're Edomites. But yeah. But if really you see a lot of Edomites though, okay, partaking in protests and riots and things of that nature. And eventually it's going to just spread to, the country, nationwide. All right. Regardless of your background. All right. It's going to spread over from the Israelites are the main target, but it's going to spread over from the Israelites, and it's going to spill over into them also going after their own people and other, whoever else is going to get caught up in it, whatever nationality you are. Okay. We can kind of foresee that because this place is about to go into, a whole civil unrest. All right. A great divide. And honestly, you can't even say it's split down the middle, because there's a lot of different divisions. Okay. That are happening right now in just Babylon the Great. Only there are a lot of different divisions. But yeah. So there's just a lot partaking right now. And, it's all by design, by way of Yahweh Shem Shah. And I want to go over here because I know we constantly get this scripture, but I mean, we're here. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you got these people right now. They're doing their nude bike rides. You got people out in the streets, cha-cha sliding, kumbaya, and playing baby guitars, and all this kind of stuff, and just singing, and they think it's a joke, all right? But hey, you got the cruel Lord at the helm of the ship right now, okay? And once he gives the order, all right, these people are going to start to get broken up, man, okay? And most of who you've seen are not even in fighting condition. But there are going to be some that may be in fighting condition. But those people are going to have to go head up with men in armored, well, really not armored suits, but, they're suited up, booted up, helmets, riot shields, vests, pepper sprays, smoke, tear gas, batons, guns, whatever. And you're going to have normal civilians out there They're not going to be out there with guns. If they do bring them, it's at a later date if that takes place. But we're talking about just these people just regularly going out there. These people ain't out there protesting with no guns on them, okay? And if it just what happens is it's just going to just have to turn bloody, because whatever the Lord wants is what He's going to have anyways, and what He wants is this chaos to happen. Okay, Esau thinks he's the one committing the chaos so he can get this order apk over us. No, this is the Lord, amplifying the control knob on Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, and as of right now, there's a steady going, but it's moving up a little bit by a little bit. Okay, and it's going to be real crazy in Babylon. It's already crazy, but it's crazy everywhere. When you look at the riots and protests across the world, hey, the people across seas are going bonkers. All right, the Americans ain't really doing jack to compared to the people across seas, man. Okay, those people are going crazy. But it's going to be like that in Babylon, and it's going to be in all 50 states. Okay, so imagine that. And that's going to be Jacob's trouble. Where it's like like a major ball game, football or whatever. You know how you hear, oh no, perfect example. Soccer games, all right, football, all right, the FUT, okay, football, soccer, okay. You hear those people, they'll sometimes they'll start singing together. You hear how loud the crowd is and they're in unison. Imagine that, but people are fighting for a cause. That's how you're going to hear the noise out in the streets when the Lord really opens Babylon up. It's going to be like the voice of people singing in unison at a football game, okay? But it's not going to be a song of cheer or, it's going to be people screaming and yelling and rioting and, and let's just keep reading. For the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And this actually applies to this silly article we read about these crazy people. And, it's non-violent, but it's still, a wicked, lewd act. And like I said, these people are playing a game that those troops are not playing, okay? Well, actually, that's ICE, but, you do have troops that are also, in certain places. And people like that will get broken up. Now, you will have a fighting class of people. That's where the real violence is going to happen, amongst the fighting class of the American citizens. But those people out there protesting, playing banjos and all that kind of madness, these people are going to get broken up, man. Okay, and sent home on or maybe not home, but sent off on stretchers, or maybe even sent to, the morgue. All right. But it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, and a brother was bringing out that earlier. I think it was from Dabu, where he was speaking about you have troops that are supporting ICE, but then troops that are supposed to, if they do that, but supposed to be protecting the rioters, the protesters. I mean, so, and it makes me think about the Civil War movie, okay? As because I mentioned that the other week, okay, probably last week sometime, where you had troops, and there was like 1, 2, you can kind of say 4. It doesn't really necessary. Yeah, I guess you could kind of say 4, because there was the first guys that were kind of rogue, with the guy that with the painted up nails, they were shooting at somebody, okay? And then you had the second group of guys that were rogue. That were rogue. It was like 3 men, and they had the big ditch of bodies of people that they were deleting. Probably they were all foreigners, because that's why he's asking, what kind of American are you? Well, actually, so I'll take that back, because he did, he shot the so-called Chinese dude, but he asked, what kind of American are you? So that's that divide, like you had, in America's ancient, well, not too ancient, but you get my point, ancient history. Okay, Civil War, okay, North versus South. So those bodies were not only just foreigners, but these were also other Americans. But that's that another group of guys that were rogue. Okay, I don't think they were militant, but actually they probably were militant, because those dudes, they had the camos, which anybody can buy camo, but they also had the skill set. So they were probably military too, but rogue, who knows? And then you had at the end of the movie, you had the troops invading in the White House. And obviously you would have, not a full divide, but troops that are going to defend the White House. So that's the type of division that Babylon is about to come into, okay? A division on all levels, okay? Doesn't matter, religious, political, racial, whatever, okay? All levels, you're going to have nothing but division, okay? And the scriptures say, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. That dust is the confusion, and you created the confusion, right? You Edomites, man, okay? You built this country's confusion. The Israelites actually built this country, okay? But you built this country's confusion, all right? You're the ones who, are the wicked, the Bible speaks of, all right? This is your confusion, and the Lord's going to sit you down in it, okay? Right before he destroys this place. We get the next one. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, it's going to get bigger than ICE and ICE raids. Okay, people are going to start to be hungry out here in a second. All right, the Lord's bringing that. All right, it's going to be bigger than people fighting against ICE. ICE is just going to be another layer to everything else to come. All right, it's just an early layer because ICE is out here now. But people are going to be hungry. All right, they ain't gonna want to hear, kumbaya. All right, they're gonna really want to go ahead, which people have been going, at ICE. Okay, you had the one place who the local police didn't assist ICE. Okay, they were told not to assist ICE. All right, when they needed some help about some people that were pressing them, and then you had the other police. I think that was Chicago, if I'm correct, who got tear gassed by ICE. So there's so many divisions, man. And that's what the Lord wants, man. He wants that great divide, okay? Because he's ultimately tearing this place apart. It's like you take a sheet of paper or something and you rip it down the middle, but you're ripping it very, very slowly. That's Babylon, all right? It's being ripped up very, very slowly. And then once it's done, he's going to put in a little pile and burn it into ash by way of nuclear fire. But I'm going to probably leave right there. I know I talked and, went through a lot more than I wanted to. I intended it to be super brief, but you know how it is. We just kind of roll with it. So, you can check out the rest of the news. Like I said, it's not much, not many clips there. Just all centered around ICE. Just a few places this time, not everywhere. So, you can finish the rest of this, the current state. So, shalom.
They're coming out hard. Oh, gas. Oh yeah, shove them down. You, man. Oh, quit shoving. You're punching. I saw you punch him. Leave them alone. You, man. Pick your side. Not the road.
On any level.
If you have your
Why is he running into it? Hitting back here.
I got Captain America.
No way.
That was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. I had no reason to push it like that. That was uncalled for.
Now we move on to a developing story. Police found a suspicious package near Midway Airport this morning.
Neighbors say the package may have had a message for ICE. WGN's Julian Cruz has the story.
People who saw the package before it was destroyed by the bomb unit say that it read, quote, "For ICE from FC," but no word at this hour from the FBI or Chicago police on what that short phrase could possibly mean. The suspicious package at 60th and Kilpatrick rendered safe by the Chicago Police Bomb Unit just about 8:40 this morning. Patrol officers on the scene alerting residents before the suspicious package was eliminated. The situation unfolding about 300 yards or so from Midway Airport's main terminal. Before the bomb squad was called in, neighbors, noticing the red and orange writing on the suspicious package, calling police. No word from CPD News Affairs or the Department of Homeland Security on the mysterious message that may or may not have been intended for ICE. Neighbors here at 60th and Kilpatrick reluctant to talk to us on camera. We hope to have more information coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Near Midway Airport, Julian Cruz, WGN News.
All right, Julian, thank you.
Today, local elected officials will work to develop plans that address some of the national issues impacting Chicago communities, like ICE raids. Chicago area mayors and state reps are gathering to discuss large-scale immigration raids and also challenge Republican-led redistricting efforts across the country. Organizers say their goal is to create some strategies to address these issues. That meeting is set for 10 in Schaumburg. Also at 10 this morning, community leaders and elected officials will also be gathering near the Broadview ICE facility. Leaders tell us they'll be out there to condemn how federal agents are blocking streets with fences and deploying chemical munitions during protests. For several weeks, we've seen demonstrations at the blockaded street right near Beach and Lexington.
The protesters are now gone, though they did remain in the vicinity of the ICE processing facility most of the day. Meanwhile, in Rogers Park, the presence of federal agents outside of a local church brought out many in the community determined to keep parishioners safe. It was just after 8:30 this morning when Julie looked out her Rogers Park window to see this. Immigration enforcement agents interrogating a man stopped right in front of St. Jerome Catholic Church.
I think they've been casing the church. I mean, the mass times are down. I think that they've been casing the church. There was somebody up the street up there the other day that got picked up. They're in this neighborhood for a reason.
With a Spanish language mass going on at that hour, Julie and her partner alerted the priest, along with several others in the neighborhood, who took it upon themselves to make sure people were able to leave the church safely.
I felt really badly for them. I mean, they were inside, scared to come out, and I can understand why.
She and others were back again for this evening's bilingual mass.
The goal here is not to create any conflict, but actually to create a safe space.
Parishioners telling us they're unnerved, and not just because of what happened today.
Right now, everybody doesn't want to come out because we don't want to be deported.
The Archdiocese tonight did not comment on the incident, but on CNN, Cardinal Blaise Cupich spoke of the ongoing raids.
Yes, we surely and have the need for a state to provide safety for people and also secure its borders. But let's not forget that human dignity also has to be preserved. Many of these people who don't have documents have been working here for a long time and contributing to our society.
Meanwhile, on ABC's This Week, Governor Pritzker addressed the court's decision to stay the administration's attempt to deploy National Guard troops across the area, even while an appellate court ruled yesterday that those already here are allowed to stay in Illinois while the appeals process plays out.
Look, we've got to rely on the courts to do the right thing. I realize that sometimes that's risky business, especially when some have been appointed by Donald Trump. But we've seen that even a Trump-appointed judge out in California, in the West Coast, has ruled against the administration.
Vice President J.D. Vance hitting back at Pritzker, also on This Week.
We're trying to help him, and we're trying to help the residents of his biggest city. I wish that he would let us, because he certainly isn't doing the job himself.
Back here in Broadview, that fence that is cutting off Beach Street where the ICE processing facility is, it remains for now, but not much longer. A judge ruling that it must come down by Tuesday.
La migra está aquí. No salgan. ICE está aquí.
We have only been on the ground in Chicago for a couple of days, but already we have come across two different people, both looking to find their loved ones after they were taken by masked and armed federal agents on the streets here in the Chicago area.
Señora, no tiene que decirles nada, si tiene papeles.
This video shows the moment that Maricela, a 53-year-old woman who has been in the United States for 30 years, was taken simply as she was walking to the market to get some groceries.
Señora, ¿cómo se llama? Para decirle a su familia.
Maricela's 21-year-old daughter Samantha actually came up to us while searching for her mom to see if we knew where she had been taken to.
Señora, ¿cómo se llama? Para decirle a su familia. Don't touch me. You're not allowed to touch me. Señora, ¿cómo se llama? Dime su nombre.
We can stop if you want.
Dígame su nombre.
Stop.
Look at guys. Look at this fascist right here.
That's her. That's her backpack right there, and that's her sweater. She always wears that sweater, and she looks so scared. Based off her facial expression, she looks ready to cry, and that saddens me because she just wanted to go to the store.
Your mom's been in the U.S. for how long?
She's been here since 1995.
And that wasn't the first time that we ran into people looking for their family. Earlier in the day, we showed up at a bakery literally 20 minutes after this happened.
Mande. Don Mario. Dígame.
What you're watching is two friends, Mario and Daniel, being taken into custody, literally around the corner from where Samantha's mom was taken. They were just grabbing a cup of coffee before work, something we all do, when suddenly these agents pulled up in these unmarked vehicles and they grab them. You can even see a cameraman with them recording this entire thing. And after it all went down, Daniel's cousin came up to us looking for him.
He didn't do anything wrong. They just took him forcefully. They're scaring everybody around now. So I feel like a target too, even though I'm a U.S. citizen. But
You feel like they would even arrest you?
yeah, at this point I do.
We reached out to ICE about both Maricela and Mario and Daniel's arrests, but we haven't heard anything back. In and around the town of Cicero, where this all went down, has a Latino population of 90%. It is the most Hispanic community in all of Illinois, and it is very clear that these border agents set their sights on this community. When you hear over and over again that the Trump administration is going after the worst of the worst, remember Maricela and Mario and Daniel. Their families say they aren't murderers. They're not rapists, they're not criminals. They're just regular people who are going about their ordinary, everyday activities in the Chicagoland area.